So here we are again in the nectar garden, specifically the tomato garden on August 17th, 2023. It may be possible that this could be the last tomato garden video, which I know is going to disappoint a lot of you, but it's probably going to work out like that. So we're going to take a little tour and see how things are doing. So all these red tomatoes are the early girl grafted. Now, the early girl didn't seem quite as early as what you would think based upon its name. Now we got a lot of tomatoes, and they are earlier than the large heirloom varieties, but I'm not really sure if it's worth it to grow these based upon the fact that some of these other ones are already coming on. So that was those three. These guys down here are the Delicious. Now the Delicious are actually throwing some good tomatoes right now, and they performed very well under this system. You can see how big some of them are. These guys down here, I mean, this particular plant is loaded with some really big, nice tomatoes. And they're coming on. We got ripe ones down on this backside that we're going to harvest today. So they did really good. These guys over here are the Big Zack. You can see the nice tomatoes coming on them. Over here is Mortgage Lifter, which may have actually performed the best. But when you look down here on this end at these Big Zack tomatoes, I mean, those are some mega tomatoes. So moving on. The Opelka paste tomatoes are producing ripe fruit. They're kind of strange. That's actually what they look like. So you got the Roma, you got the San Marzano. This is the Opelka. So it has the same properties, but it's bigger. And I think they actually make a thicker paste right off the get-go. I don't think you have to boil them down quite as much to get a good thick paste. That's a good shot of those. We're going to walk around our water trough. So more mega tomatoes. Omar's Lebanese. Look at those guys. They're not ready yet, but they're going to be good. Now there was a little mishap here last night. Storm came in and actually blew over some of these plants. And one of the faults to this system is that they're actually not rooted in the ground. So you get a big enough wind, they can go over. And when you got the drip irrigation lines running together, they can go over in a daisy chain, which is what happened. So for anybody that's going to try this particular system, you may wish to place a large metal stake alongside the pot and zip tie the tomato cage to it. I've got a couple of them like that on the corner that did not go over. It's probably how it should be done if you want to be sure. So now we're going to go into the star of the garden, Canestrano De Luca. So you can look at the size of these things, and they're nice big tomatoes. And as I said before, I'm 6'3", pots are about 18 inches. So you can see how big they grow. They probably could have got bigger if I would have got everything out here a little bit earlier. But they're looking real good coming on. Going around the corner to complete the perimeter. some of our viney stuff. That's a butternut squash, or honey nut technically is a variety name. Honey nut variety of the butternut squash. More nice DeLucas coming on. Husky Cherry 100 like this system. Usually these are ready earlier. I don't know quite what the deal is with that, but we have them now. The variety that did not like the system is the yellow pear. Not really sure whether they were getting too much water. Usually these things are very vigorous when planted in the ground. And they started off vigorous, but somewhere along the line something happened that they just didn't like. Haven't figured it out yet. Windsall seemed like it did pretty good. But again, the whole, they need to be staked. I guess there's no way around it. So I have to change the way that I do things next year. And I got some other ideas about what I might do, but for this system, anybody that wants to try it, you want to make sure you get them through without having these problems of them blowing over. You got to stake them. But yeah, Windsall has some nice tomatoes coming on. And we'll take a little peek at the other garden, the peppers, eggplant. So these are all harvested not too long ago. I try to harvest them nearly to completion so they'll send out another flush of fruit. They're coming on pretty nice. This viney stuff is coming on. We got a giant zucchini that should have been picked a while back. So that's basically inedible. But hey, it's throwing fruit. And one more thing to say about this system, as far as the tomatoes go, it seems like the first main flush of fruit looks really good and really clean. But when you get out to the end branches, the tomatoes that are forming further out don't seem to be so well developed. So I think there may be some kind of nutritional problems that I need to figure out. Or maybe the plant is just so massive that this pot can't provide enough nutrition through that limited root system to feed it. I think they did really well. I think this is a great method, but I think it's possible that the plant itself may just be too large for it to even be possible for it to get enough nutrients into it through that system. Now, I'm not sure that's the case. I'm probably not going to go to larger pots next year. It's probably going to try to modify my nutrient program a little bit, go heavier. There may be some kind of issue with the phosphorus not being able to get into the plant because it's not balanced out with the proper amount of zinc. That's something I still got to figure on. But anyway, that's how we're growing them out here in Claybanks.